Welcome back to the channel where we explore the hidden stories, rarest coins history, and real-life treasures behind everyday coins. And today, we're talking about one of the most talked about and mysterious coins in American numismatics, the 1967 Lincoln penny. That's right, a simple 1-cent coin that you might have overlooked. But there are whispers in the collecting world that one rare version could be worth up to $1.7 million. Sounds wild, right? Let's break it all down. We're going to look at the history of this coin, why it's important, and what rare features might make it so incredibly valuable. Let's take it back to 1967. Now, 1967 was an unusual year in American coin production. The United States Mint was still recovering from a nationwide coin shortage that had started in the mid-1960s. This shortage was so intense that the government made big changes to how coins were minted. They removed mint marks from all coins from 1965 through 1967 to discourage hoarding. So if you've got a 1967 penny and you're wondering why there's no letter under the tail like a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco, it's because none of the 1967 pennies had mint marks. That was done intentionally. Another important fact, in 1967, the Mint was also experimenting with changes in coin composition and minting procedures. And anytime there are changes or transitions like this, mistakes happen. And those mistakes, that's where the money is. The 1967 Lincoln penny was made with a classic copper alloy, 95% copper, 5% zinc. It still featured the familiar Lincoln bust on the front, with the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. Over 3 billion of these pennies were struck that year, which makes it seem like it's a pretty common coin. And for the most part, it is. But let's talk about exceptions. Let's talk about the valuable ones. When people talk about the 1967 penny being worth up to $1.7 million, they're not talking about the average penny in your pocket. They're talking about extremely rare error coins, and coins in absolute perfect condition and mint state, flawless, untouched. One of the biggest reasons a coin from 1967 could be worth huge money is a dramatic minting error. This includes things like double die obverses, where the coin is struck twice slightly off, creating a doubling effect on the words or date. Imagine seeing "In God We Trust" or "Liberty" on your coin, but with a ghosted second out linea that could be a double die. And some of these errors are extremely rare, especially if they were never widely released or discovered until much later. Another valuable error is when a coin is struck on the wrong plankett. For example, a penny struck on a dime plankett or even on a foreign coin blank. These are incredibly rare, but a few are known to exist. If you come across a 1967 penny that looks too thin, feels too light, or has a silver color to it, don't spend it. It could be a mistake coin worth thousands or more. And then there's condition. Coins are graded on a 70-point scale. Anything above MS65 is considered very high quality. If you happen to have a 1967 penny in mint state 67 or higher, and it's certified by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC, that alone could bump its value into the hundreds or even thousands of dollars. If a rare error is also present, that's when we're talking serious money. Now, let's get to the million-dollar question literally. Where does this $1.7 million number come from? In the world of numismatics, there are always rumors of ultra-rare coins either sold privately or discovered but not made public. There are coin forums and auction watchers who claim that a 1967 Lincoln penny, with the one-of-a-kind minting error and preserved in pristine condition, may have sold in a private transaction for upwards of $1.7 million. While there's no official public record of that sale, we know that coins like the 1943 copper penny and the 1955 double die have fetched 6-figure and even 7-figure prices at auction. So it's not out of the realm of possibility. The truth is, the coin collecting world is full of surprises. It only takes one coin, with the right combination of rarity, condition, and collector demand, to make headlines. So here's what you should be doing. Go through your change. Look at your penny jars, your old coin rolls, maybe even the coins your grandparents passed down. Look for 1967 pennies that are in great condition. Look for doubling on the date or the lettering. If the color or weight of the coin seems off, don't ignore it. And if you think you've got something special, get it graded or bring it to a coin expert before spending it, because yeah, most 1967 pennies are only worth a cent. Maybe a few bucks if they're in mint condition. But that one rare error coin, sitting in perfect shape, could change everything. Let me know in the comments, have you ever found a 1967 penny with an error? Do you collect pennies or just started checking because of videos like this? I'd love to hear your story. And if you learned something new today, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next episode. We've got more deep dives coming into coins you probably have right now that could be worth way more than you think. Thanks for watching. And until next time, keep your eyes on your change and happy hunting. Description for this video. Welcome back to the channel where we talk about coins, collectibles, and the stories behind the money in your pocket. Rarest coins. Today we're diving into something that might actually be sitting in your change jar right now. It's the 1978 Lincoln penny. Yeah, just a 1-cent coin on a broken bar, or is it? You might have heard the rumors or seen headlines saying a 1978 penny sold for over $1 million. Sounds crazy, right? But let's get into the facts, the history, and the real reasons why some of these coins can be worth serious money, and how you can tell if you've got a winner. Let's start with a little history. The Lincoln penny has been in production since 1909. That was the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, and it was the first time a real person, not a symbolic figure like Liberty, appeared on a U.S. coin. The original Lincoln penny featured wheat ears on the back, known as the wheat penny. But in 1959, to honor the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, the U.S. Mint changed the reverse to the Lincoln Memorial design. Now, fast forward to 1978. This was the last full year the penny would be made using the same design before the Mint made small changes to Lincoln's bust in 1979. That makes 1978 kind of a transitional year. And when it comes to coin collecting, even the smallest design changes or errors can mean big value. The 1978 penny was struck in 3 different locations: Philadelphia, San Francisco, and Denver. Today, we're focusing on the 1978, meaning it was minted in Denver. They made a lot of thema, over $4.2 billion. So in general, a regular 1978 penny isn't rare. You could find one in pocket change today and it's still worth 1 cent, maybe a few cents, in very good condition. Boot up, and this is a big boot. There are exceptions. Every now and then, a coin comes off the minting press with something unusual. Maybe it's a misstrike, maybe the coin was struck on the wrong plankett, or metal blank. Maybe the mint mark looks weird. These rare errors and varieties can turn an ordinary coin into something incredibly valuable. So what's the deal with a 1978 penny being worth $1.5 million? Well, let's clear the air. There isn't a publicly confirmed sale of a 1978 penny for $1.5 million, but there are known errors and rare variations that have sold for thousands, and speculative listings online have thrown around numbers in the millions. Some collectors believe that if the right error coin shows up in mint state condition, especially one never seen before, it could fetch a jaw-dropping price at auction. So what kind of things should you be looking for? First up, double die errors. These happen when the coin is struck twice with slightly different alignments. Look for doubling in the date or in the words "In God We Trust" or "Liberty." These can be hard to spot without a magnifying glass, but they're out there. Next, off-metal errors. Some coins are struck on the wrong type of metal blank. For example, a penny struck on a dime plankett will be lighter and might have a silverish look. These are very rare but have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Also, keep an eye out for mint mark anomalies. The D-mint mark on Denver coins should be crisp and clean. If it looks unusual, say, doubled, misplaced, or even missing it could be a rare variety. Then there's condition. Even if your 1978 penny doesn't have an error, if it's in pristine, uncirculated condition and known as MS67 or higher up, it can be worth a few bucks or more to collectors who want perfect examples. And if it's a rare or coin in top condition, that's where the value skyrockets. So could your 1,978D penny be worth $1.5 million? It's possible in theory. But to be real, the average one is worth a cent, maybe a bit more if it's in excellent shape. Still, it only takes one lucky find to change that. Coins like the 1943 copper penny and 1955 double-die penny have sold for hundreds of thousands. If a never-before-seen error on a 1978D penny popped up and hit the auction block, the sky's the limit. So next time you're going through change, or helping your kids with a coin collection, don't overlook the pennies, especially the ones from the late 70s. You never know what kind of hidden treasure you might find. If you've got a 1978D penny and want to know what it's worth, drop a comment below. I'll do my best to help you out. And if you like this video, hit that thumbs up, subscribe for more coin content, and turn on notifications so you never miss a find that could be sitting in your pocket. Thanks for watching, and happy collecting. For TikTok or Shorts, welcome back to the channel. Rarest Coins. If you're new here, we talk all things coins, history, value, rare finds, and how to spot the treasure that might be hiding right in your pocket. Today we're diving into one of the most overlooked coins in your change. The 1979 Lincoln penny. That's right, 1 cent. But some collectors say a rare version of this coin could be worth up to $1.3 million. So, is it true? Could a regular-looking penny from 1979 really be worth over $1 million? Let's find out. We're going to cover the history of this coin, what makes it special, and what to look for that could make yours insanely valuable. Let's start with a little background. The Lincoln penny first came out in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Since then, it's become the longest-running coin design in U.S. history. In 1959, the reverse of the penny was changed from the wheat ears to the Lincoln Memorial, marking Lincoln's 150th birthday. This design stayed all the way until 2008. Now, 1979 was a significant year in the coin world for a few reasons. For one, the U.S. Mint was experimenting with changes in coin design and production. Inflation was rising, and the cost to produce pennies was starting to become a concern. Pennies from 1979 were still made primarily from copper, unlike the copper-plated zinc composition introduced in 1982. The 1979 Lincoln penny was struck at 3 mints of Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The one we're talking about today is the Philadelphia version, which has no mint mark. Over 6 billion of these were made, so on the surface, nothing seems rare about it. But here's where things get interesting. Most people think every penny is the same, but in reality, small errors or variations during the minting process can turn a common coin into something incredibly valuable. With billions of coins being struck each year, even the tiniest mistake can go unnoticed until someone finds it. There have been whispers and online listings suggesting that a rare 1979 penny, struck in Philadelphia with a unique mint error and preserved in flawless condition, could be worth up to $1.3 million. While no confirmed public sale has hit that number, the possibility of that kind of payday has collectors on high alert. So what should you be looking for? First, condition is everything. A regular 1979 penny in circulated condition is usually only worth face value, but a coin that's been kept in mint state and no scratches, no discoloration, perfectly struck can fetch anywhere from a few dollars to a few hundred, depending on the grade. Coins graded MS67 or higher are considered top tier. Now let's talk about errors. These are the jackpot situations. One of the most valuable types of error is the double die. That's when the coin is struck more than once, but slightly misaligned. It creates a shadow or doubling effect on the lettering or numbers. On a 1979 penny, check for doubling on the date, the word Liberty, or In God We Trust. You might need a magnifying glass to spot it, but if you do, that coin could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on the strength of the error. Another error to look for is the off-center strike. This happens when the blank metal disc, called a plankette, isn't perfectly lined up when it's stamped. The result is a coin with part of the design missing or off-center. The more dramatic the error, the more valuable it can be. Then there are wrong plankett errors. That's when a penny gets struck on a metal blank meant for another coin, like a dime or even a foreign coin. These are extremely rare, but they do exist. And when they're found, collectors will pay big money, sometimes tens of thousands of dollars. There's also talk about transitional errors. For example, if a 1979 penny was mistakenly struck on an older composition blank or with a pre-production die, it could become a one-of-a-kind coin. These are the unicorns of the coin world. They're the ones that could break records at auction and possibly hit that $1 million mark. So where does this $1.3 million number come from? It comes from the rarest combination, a dramatic mint error, struck in 1979, preserved in a perfect mint state, and discovered by the right person at the right time. It's like winning the lottery, but it's not impossible. It just takes knowledge, luck, and attention to detail. And yes, some collectors believe there's a 1979 penny out there that meets all these conditions, just waiting to be found. The key takeaway: don't overlook the ordinary. That penny in your pocket, sitting on your dresser, or hiding in a jar could be worth way more than you think. Check your change, learn what to look for, and if you find something that stands out, don't spend $1 to get it evaluated by a professional grader or a coin expert. So what do you think? Have you checked your 1979 pennies lately? Got any with odd features, sharp strokes, or crazy errors? Let me know in the comments. And if you want more videos like this, where we break down coin myths and chase down hidden value, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching. And until next time, happy hunting and keep your eyes on the cents. If you'd like, I can help format this into subtitles, condense it into a YouTube short, or write a catchy intro line for your channel branding. Just let me know. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we uncover the hidden treasures in your pocket change. If you love coins, rare finds, or just want to know if you might be holding onto something valuable, this video is for you. Today we're talking about a coin that most people use every single day without thinking twice. The 2016 Lincoln penny. At first glance, it's just a modern coin. But don't let the recent date fool you. There are rare varieties and potential minting errors tied to the 2016 penny that have collectors paying serious money. And yes, there are whispers of one rare version potentially being worth as much as $1.2 million. Let's break it down. We're going to talk about the history of the Lincoln penny, what makes the 2016 version special, and what you should be looking for that could make your coin worth thousands or even millions. Let's start with the basics. The Lincoln penny has been in continuous production since 1909. That makes it the longest-running design in U.S. coin history. Originally released to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, the design has gone through some changes over the years, but Lincoln's face has remained on the front ever since. In 2009, the Mint released 4 special reverse designs to mark the bicentennial of Lincoln's birth. Then in 2010, the reverse changed to the Union Shield design, which is what we still see today. So by 2016, we were 6 years into the current Shield reverse, which features a strong symbol of Lincoln's legacy, the preservation of the Union. Now here's the thing about 2016. Even though it's a recent year, coins from modern times can still be incredibly valuable when they have the right error or condition. The 2016 Lincoln penny was produced at 2 main locations of the Philadelphia Mint, which struck coins without a mint mark, and the Denver Mint, marked by a small D beneath the date. In total, billions of 2016 pennies were made. That makes the standard version very common. If you find a regular one in your change, it's worth 1 cent, maybe a few bucks if it's in uncirculated condition. But as always, the story doesn't end there. Let's talk about what makes a 2016 penny worth real money. The most valuable coins are either in perfect condition or they feature dramatic minting errors, and 2016 is no exception. Collectors have reported rare error coins that could be worth hundreds, thousands, or even more if the right combination of rarity and condition is met. Some of the known valuable errors include: first, Double die errors. This is when the coin is struck twice with a slight shift, causing a doubling effect on the lettering or numbers. On a 2016 penny, if you see doubling on the words Liberty, In God We Trust, or the date, that's something to pay attention to. Even minor doubling can add value, but strong double dies are very collectible. Next, off-center strikes. If your coin looks like part of it is missing or pushed to one side, that's called an off-center strike. The more dramatic the error, the more valuable it can be. A 50% off-center penny showing a full date can sell for big money. Then you've got wrong plankett errors. This happens when a penny is struck on a blank meant for another coin like a dime or even a foreign coin. That changes the weight and color of the coin. And these types of errors are extremely rare. If you find a 2016 penny that looks or feels unusual, get it checked. There's also the transitional error category. While no official transitional error has been confirmed for 2016 pennies, it's always possible one exists. That's what makes coin hunting so exciting. The first person to find a new variety or error can set the market and the price. Now, about that rumored $1.2 million penny. While there's no officially confirmed sale on record for a 2016 penny at that value, some collectors speculate that a one-of-a-kind error, especially in a perfect mint state or even a discovery coin with a completely new variety, could someday sell for seven figures. It wouldn't be the first time a modern penny skyrocketed in value. We've seen coins from the 1990s and 2000s sell for tens of thousands and more when they're the first of their kind or in unbelievable condition. So how can you tell if your 2016 penny is valuable? Start with the condition. If it's clean, crisp, and looks brand new, that's a good sign. You'll want to check the coin under a magnifying glass for any signs of doubling or oddities in the design. If the edges look off, if the coin feels light or heavy, or if the image is clearly off-center, those are all things that could point to a valuable error. And if you find something that looks promising, don't spend it. Instead, take it to a reputable coin dealer or send it in for grading through a service like PCGS or NGC. A small investment in getting your coin authenticated could turn into a massive payday. So what's the bottom line? The 2016 Lincoln penny is usually just pocket change, but every now and then, a rare version slips through the cracks and ends up in someone's change jar or coin roll. And if you're the one to find it, that little copper coin could be worth a whole lot more than 1 cent, maybe even $1 million or more. Have you checked your 2016 pennies yet? Got any coins with strange marks, odd colors, or just feel different? Drop a comment below and let us know what you're finding. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more about rare coins hiding in plain sight, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss the next treasure we uncover. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy coin hunting. Let me know if you'd like help writing your video title, description, or thumbnail text to go with this. I can also convert this into a version for shorts or Instagram reels. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're into coins, collectibles, or just curious about the hidden value of everyday things, you're in for a treat today, because we're diving into the mystery, the value, and the history of the 1979 Lincoln penny. That's right, a 1 cent, just a regular old penny, right? Well, maybe not. There are stories, listings, and rumors floating around the coin collecting world about a 1979 penny that could be worth as much as $1.4 million. Sounds insane, I know, but let's break it all down. What makes the 1979 penny special? What should you be looking for? And could you actually have one of these valuable coins without even knowing it? Let's rewind for a second. The Lincoln penny has been a part of American currency since 1909. That's over a century of history on a coin that most of us just toss into the tip jar. In 1959, the U.S. Mint introduced the Lincoln Memorial design on the reverse, replacing the old wheat ears. And that design stayed around all the way until 2008. The front, or obverse, still had Lincoln's bust, but in 1975, the Mint started working on subtle redesigns to update the details, especially Lincoln's portrait. That brings us to 1979. This was the first full year of the modified design. The bust was sharper, more detailed, and even though most people wouldn't notice, collectors absolutely do. The Denver Mint, marked by a little D under the date, produced over 4.1 billion Lincoln pennies that year. So yeah, there are a lot of them out there. The average 1,979 D penny, worth 1 cent, maybe a few cents if it's in really good condition. But as always with coins, the real money is in the exceptions. Now here's where things get interesting. There are rare varieties, minting errors, and mysterious coins out there that change everything. A few of these 1,979 D pennies have shown up with serious errors struck on the wrong plan case, double dies, or off-center strikes. These rare examples can bring in big bucks, but the real buzz comes from reports and speculative sales suggesting that an ultra-rare 1,979 D penny, with a unique error or in an unbelievable mint state, could be worth up to $1.4 million. It sounds like a stretch until you consider other famous examples. The 1943 copper penny has sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars. A 1955 double die penny, also worth thousands. It just takes the right combination of rarity, condition, and collector demand. So what should you look for in your 1,979 D penny? First, check the condition. If it looks brand new, no scratches, super clean and sharp, that's a good sign. Coins graded at MS67 or higher can sell for a few $100s even without any errors. If you think you have one in that kind of shape, you might want to have it professionally graded. Next, look for errors. A double die is when the coin was struck twice, creating a shadow-like effect on the letters or numbers. Look closely at the date, the word Liberty, or In God We Trust. If anything looks like it has a double outline, you might be onto something. Then, weight or in metal content. All 1979 pennies were supposed to be made of copper-plated ink, but some plancades of metal blanks might have slipped through from earlier years. If your penny feels heavier than usual, it could be struck on a leftover copper plancade from before 1982. Which can raise its value. Or worse, or better, what if it was struck on a dime plancade? That's happened before with other years, and those mistakes can be worth thousands. Also, the D mint mark itself can tell a story. Some coins have a repunched mint mark where the D was stamped twice in different positions. That's known as an RPM, or repunched mint mark, and collectors love those. They're hard to spot without magnification, but definitely worth checking. And of course, if there's something truly bizarre like a 1,979 D penny struck on a foreign plancade, or with extreme off-center errors, or in a perfect grade with a never-seen-before flaw, that's when you start getting into serious value territory. So where does this $1.4 million figure come from? It's part hype, part speculation, and part the reality that in the world of rare collectibles, prices can skyrocket when the right coin comes along. Maybe someone found a one-of-a-kind 1,979 D error that's never been seen before. Maybe it's still out there waiting to be discovered in someone's old coin jar or a forgotten drawer. And if that happens to be you, well, you just might be sitting on a small fortune. The key is to keep your eyes open. Take a close look at those pennies. The next time you get change back at the store, don't ignore it. That 1-cent coin might be worth way more than you think. So what do you think? Have you checked your 1,979 D pennies yet? Got any coins that look unusual? Drop a comment below and let's talk about it. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into a coin that most people overlook, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next story from the world of hidden treasures. A happy collecting. Post. Welcome back to the channel where we explore the hidden value behind everyday coins and uncover the amazing stories behind the change in your pocket. Today, we're talking about a coin that you've probably seen 100 times and never thought twice about: the 2002 Lincoln penny. Now, on the surface, the 2002 penny seems like your average modern coin. Nothing flashy. But don't be fooled. Some collectors believe that rare versions of this coin, especially ones with certain minting errors or in perfect condition, could be worth serious money, up to $1.1 million in some cases. Yeah, you heard that right. Let's dive in and find out what makes the 2002 Lincoln penny so interesting, what history it carries, and what rare details could turn one of these into a coin worth more than a house. Let's start with a little history. The Lincoln penny has been a staple of American currency since 1909. That year marked the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, and it was the first time a real person appeared on a regular U.S. coin. The reverse of the penny featured wheat ears until 1959, when the U.S. Mint introduced the Lincoln Memorial designed to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. From 1959 all the way through 2008, the Lincoln Memorial was featured on the back of every penny, so the 2002 Lincoln penny is part of that long memorial cent series. It's got the classic image of Lincoln on the front, and the iconic memorial on the back. But even though it looks like every other penny from that era, the truth is there are some very special ones out there. The 2002 penny was minted at two main locations, Philadelphia and Denver. The Philadelphia coins don't have a mint mark, while the Denver coins carry a small D under the date. Both the mints produced hundreds of millions of pennies that year. So no, the average 2002 penny isn't rare. But here's where it gets interesting. Even though billions of these coins were made, there are always a few that slip through the cracks. Coins with errors, unusual metal compositions, and striking mistakes that make them stand out from the rest. And it's those rare coins that collectors are willing to pay huge money for. Now, let's talk about value. A standard 2002 Lincoln penny in circulated condition is worth exactly 1 cent. If you've got one that's never been used and is in mint state condition, say MS65 or higher up, it might be worth a couple bucks to the right buyer. But the real value comes in with the rare minting errors. So what should you be looking for? First up, double die errors. This happens when the coin is struck more than once by the die, but not perfectly aligned. This can cause the lettering or the date to look doubled or shadowed. If you see that kind of effect on the words "Liberty," "In God We Trust," or the date itself, you could have something special. Then there are off-center strikes. These happen when the coin blank isn't lined up correctly during the minting process. If you find a 2002 penny where the design is shifted to one side or partially missing, that could be worth good money. The more off-center the strike, the higher the value, especially if the date is still visible. Next, look out for coins struck on the wrong plankett. These are extremely rare, but they do happen. A plankett is the blank metal disc used to make the coin. If a 2002 penny was accidentally struck on a dime plankett or a foreign coin plankett, the coin will look and feel different. It might be a different color, weight, or even have a different edge. These errors can fetch hundreds, even thousands of dollars at auction. Now let's get into the $1 million talk. There have been unconfirmed reports and rumors in the collector community about a one-of-a-kind 2002 Lincoln penny that was struck with an extremely rare error and preserved in pristine mint condition. Some sources claim this coin changed hands in a private sale for as much as $1.1 million. While there's no official record of the transaction, it's not impossible. Other coins with rare errors, like the 1943 bronze penny or the 1955 double die, have sold for six figures or more. So if a never-before-seen 2002 penny with a unique error did surface, it could absolutely reach that kind of value. And that's the fun part about coin collecting. You never know what's out there until someone finds it. So, what should you do? Start by checking your 2002 pennies. Look for any signs of doubling, unusual edges, word color or weight, or off-center designs. If a penny looks different, don't ignore it. Hold on to it and get it checked by a professional. Grading services like PCGS or NGC can authenticate and grade your coin. And if it turns out to be rare, you'll have proof to back up its value. And even if your 2002 penny isn't the $1 million one, you might still have something worth holding onto. Clean, uncirculated coins, especially with minor errors, can still sell for good money to the right buyer. Have you come across any strange 2002 pennies? Got one that looks off, or just want to know what to look for? Drop a comment below and let's talk about it. And if you found this video helpful, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next video about the coins hiding in plain sight that could be worth a fortune. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy collecting and keep your eyes on your change. You never know what treasure you might find. With this script.